Ladies and gentlemen, the North Ridgeville City Council meeting is now in session. Today is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. Please rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather together this evening. We ask you to guide us to use the talents that you've given each of us to collectively make prudent decisions for the city of North Ridgeville and its residents today and throughout the coming year. We ask this in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain.
Here.
Boos. Here. Havens.
Here.
Winkle.
Here.
Awig.
Yeah.
DeVries.
Here.
Jacobs.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Safety Service Director.
Here.
Law Director.
Here.
Engineer.
Here.
Finance Director.
Here.
Clerk of Council.
All right, tonight before us under the approval of minutes. We have the city council meeting minutes dated January 3rd, 2023. Are there any changes or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, those minutes are approved as submitted. Next up, we'll move on to our lobby session. As always, we do allow an opportunity for the public to address both city council and the city administration. So in a moment, we will open a lobby session. We do ask that anybody wishing to speak does speak from the podium. And as usual, you will have up to 3 minutes. We ask that you begin by stating your name and address for the record. So at this time, the lobby session is now open. I know Mr. Chapchinsky wants to go, so
Wow, you said it right.
I know who you are.
That's a good.
Good evening, my name is Yuri Chapchinsky. I live at 33699 Dow Browning Drive, Gito from North Ridgeville, Ohio. I have a couple comments. One is I am dressed appropriately. I have gotten into the habit of donating blood and platelets, and I encourage everybody to do the same. The other thing is the Center Ridge project, I think, is at completion already, but if possible, they come back and reevaluate the lake triggers. The one at Giant Eagle at Pitts and Center, I can wait there pretty much until my hair grows long.
Wow, you must have been waiting there today.
I was. And then tomorrow I'm going to Rod's Barbershop again. So if they come back and they do reevaluate the triggers, I want to put that on my list. Other than that, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else with us this evening who would like to address the council or the administration? All right, well, seeing none, we will close the lobby session and we will move on to our administrator's report. First, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a short report tonight. I'm sure you're all excited about that. We had a master plan steering committee last week. Their second meeting, the website's been updated to post some of the information that we spoke about there. But there are some upcoming opportunities for the entire community to provide feedback to that committee. You can visit ridgevilleready.com, which is a website dedicated to the Master Plan Steering Committee, to sign up for updates and participate in upcoming in-person and virtual meetings. They'll be at the end of February and beginning of March. We're looking for as many people to provide feedback as possible. This is a community-led and driven effort. So the more people that participate, the better our plan will be. There is going to be a spaghetti dinner on January 27th, and that is from 5 to 7 p.m. Due to the reconstruction at the senior center, we're going to hold that at the North Ridgeville High School. Tickets, as always, are $8 for adults, $7 for seniors, $5 for children 10 and under, and you'll always get the delicious spaghetti and meatball dinner. Proceeds benefit programs at the senior center, and the Rotary Club of North Ridgeville is sponsoring the event. So please make sure you note the different location, the high school. We will try to work out the best plan to have takeout at that location, which might be somewhat challenging. And that is all. Thank you. Actually, I'll just say that the lights are being looked at this week. That Mr. Jumpinski was. Not because you mentioned it here, we already had. I didn't want to burst your bubble, I just wanted to make it clear.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Safety Service Director.
Just remaining a little or looking back, is last year, Martin Luther King Day, if you remember, there was a huge snowstorm that came through. And what was it, 48 degrees yesterday, and I think it hit 50 some today. Don't get used to it. There's still winter around the corner. But it certainly has helped us salt wise, and the guys I know were out today coal patching and doing work like that. So gives them an opportunity. We're still, if you see on Route 10, we're out there actually cleaning up some of the ditches over there with our some of our equipment to get a better flow coming off that and to take it down towards the church or down towards Clinton as we go through that process. And that completes my report.
Thank President, can I jump in there for a second?
Yes.
I'm making a motion to go into executive session to discuss the purchase of real estate.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Swank to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the purchase of real estate. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth. Yes. Evans. Yes. Winkle. Yes. Haywick.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes. Motion carries.
You want us to leave? Might be easier for us to leave.
We'll go.
Like the brights. When you're sitting at that light, like the brights. Really, like every. At least when you're right, you know, it's the image from the stuff.
Yeah.
Holy cow, is that my minutes on? I really need a haircut.
All right, so.
Yeah.
I like doing it on my shoulder.
Right.
To do some leaning. It's supposed to be oh, there's no thing around it.
All right, thank you for your patience, everybody. This go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So at this point, you have a piece of legislation to acquire some property in front of you. I believe the T number would be 8.
Yes, that's correct.
So at this point, I move to add T8 to the suspend the bylaws first and to include T8 on the first readings.
Second. The motion was made by the mayor and seconded by Winkle to dispense with the bylaws and add T8 to tonight's agenda. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swing,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Winkle.
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries to add sort of T8 2023 to the agenda.
We have it under first readings. All right, we're still on administrative reports, and Ms. Engineer.
I don't have any updates at this time, Mr. President.
Ms. well, it still says auditor, but finance director.
Thank you, Council President. Before council tonight is T5, a resolution authorizing the execution of then and now certificates. I just wanted to touch on this a bit. This certificate that we're requesting is for a payment that is truly a reimbursement to Ohio Department of Taxation for income tax. We had a taxpayer, a net profit payment, which would be a business taxpayer, submit a tax return, which was less than the tax that they remitted to the state. And so, because those funds have already been remitted to the city, we have to send the money back to the state as a refund. So, in addition to that, typically we bring this resolution before you, before we've actually dispersed. However, we were just made aware of this. We had 30 days to remit. The finance department was just made aware of this, and we had to cut that payment to the state on the 9th. However, to stay in compliance, I am bringing forward the resolution to you for your approval, and hopefully with the adoption to include the emergency clause tonight, so that we are covered. But I did want you to know that this is more of a refund than it is an expenditure that occurred before somebody received authorization. We are required to give this money back to us. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Please note too that the finance director has provided council with the November 2022 finance report. We are also in receipt of the December 2022 fire department report, the December 2022 building department report, as well as the December 2022 water distribution and EPA report. There are no council committee reports, correspondence, or old business on tonight's agenda. Under new business, we do have the planning commission took action on one item at its January 10th regular meeting. So if you can please read the planning commission action for
PPZ 2022-0156, Lorraine County Health and Dentistry, 35557 Center Ridge Road, BPM 07-000-117-086 and 088. Applicant Christine Raymond, Casimir Architects Incorporated, 1468 West 9th Street, Suite 400, Cleveland, Ohio 44113. Proposal consists of constructing a medical/dental office building. Property is zoned B3, Highway Commercial District. Planning Commission action approved by a vote of 4-0.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Evans.
first of all, I want to point out that this is not a car wash. It's not a coffee shop. It is a dental office and a new building. It's going to be a good addition to the North Ridgeville community. As you see, PC action was 4-0. I move that we approve.
Second.
It's moved by Avens and seconded by Swink to approve the planning commission's approval of Lorraine County Health and Dentistry. Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. President, I just wanted to point out that this organization is a nonprofit, but they do have employees that are paid just like any other medical professional. So we will be getting income tax from this facility.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any additional comments, questions? I do know that after watching the planning commission meeting, they did make note too that Lorraine County Health and Dentistry is not affiliated with the government. Lorraine County is just the name they chose based on the geographic region that they service. So if there are no other comments, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth. Yes. Avens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
The motion carried unanimously.
That brings us to recess.
Mr. President, move to dispense with recess.
Second.
It was moved by Winkle and seconded by Awig to dispense with recess. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no. All right, we will dispense with recess, move on to first reading. Clerk, please read T3.
An ordinance or T3 2023, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for a 12-month period according to law in a manner prescribed by law for the purchase of chemicals to be used by the French Creek wastewater treatment plant.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
the purchase of chemicals is an annual expenditure. We discussed this at appropriations and because of the way prices have changed so often these days, I'm moving to add the emergency or dispensing with the second and third readings for T3, and I'll ask for the emergency clause at the appropriate time as well.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Winkle to dispense with the second and third readings for T3. Are there any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All opposed say no.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, move to add the emergency clause for the reasons I stated previously.
Second.
Moved by the mayor and seconded by Winkle to add the emergency clause in T3 for the reasons stated earlier by the mayor. On the emergency clause alone, all in favor say yes.
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 All opposed say no. It was then moved by the mayor and seconded by Winkle to adopt T3 with the emergency clause in place. This time, do we have any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth.
Yes.
Avens,
Yes.
Winkle.
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 6035-2023.
T4.
T4-2023, an ordinance creating NRCO chapter 478, regulating the operation of low speed and underspeed vehicles.
All right, T4 will be referred to the safety committee. Further discussion. T5.
T5-2023, a resolution to authorize the execution of then and now certificates by the fiscal officer and the payment of amounts due for various purchase orders.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. DeVries.
motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by DeVries and seconded by Booth to dispense with the second and third readings for T5. Are there any comments or questions? This needs to be amended, correct, on the floor? Didn't you send an amendment for this for T5? Amended version, rather?
By substitution of the label.
Mr. President, motion to withdraw the previous motion.
Okay,
You could do a superseding amendment, can't you, at any time? So
would not matter.
I think you can amend it right now and then go back and have to vote on the amendment and then the previous motion. I think you're okay with that. So.
Okay, so moving to amend.
Second.
Your version is before you this evening.
It was moved by DeVries, seconded by Booth to amend T5 with the version that was provided to us this evening by the finance director.
Mr. President, I believe that's just simply a change in some dollar amounts. Reflective of what our ordinances say rather than state law. I think what happened was they were just pulled out the last time we did this and, didn't account for the changes that we made to our ordinances ourselves last year. So, and that was it. So I think in 2 spots, it said 3,000 and it was changed to 25,000.
20,000. From 3 to 20.
Thank you. Correct. Okay.
Mr. President, the year was also wrong on your. 2022. Not the temporary
I'm sorry, where?
title. It's within the title.
Oh, and that was that's correct. Okay, thank you. Any additional comments or questions? Okay, so the motion was made by DeVries and seconded by Booth to amend T5 with the version in front of us. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. DeVries.
motion to dispense with the second and third reading of T5 amended.
Second.
It was moved by DeVries and seconded by Booth to dispense with the second and third readings for T5 amended. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. DeVries.
motion to adopt.
Second.
President, motion to add the emergency clause for the reasons stated by the finance director in order for us to stay in compliance.
Second.
It was moved by DeVries and seconded by Booth to add the emergency clause to T5 amended for the reasons stated earlier by the finance director. On the emergency clause alone, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no. It was then moved by DeVries and seconded by Booth to adopt T5 amended with the emergency clause in place. This time, are there any final comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes resolution number 1583-2023.
T6.
T6-2023, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to purchase ultrasonic water meters and appurtenances from Badger Meter Incorporated not to exceed $250,000 for calendar year 2023.
T7.
T7, an ordinance increasing the wholesale rate of wastewater treatment services provided by the French Creek wastewater treatment plant.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
I make a motion to amend section 1, the last line to read, treatment shall be increased by 4% annually through 2027.
Second.
The motion was made by Booth and seconded by Winkle to amend T7 to reflect the language just Mr. Booth just said there. Are there any questions or comments regarding the amendment? Hearing none, all in favor, say, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink.
Yes.
Booth.
Yes.
Havens.
Yes.
Winkle.
Yes.
Haywick.
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries to amend the ordinance.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by Booth and seconded by DeVries to dispense with the second and third readings for T7 amended. Are there any comments or questions related to that? Hearing none, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, make a motion to add the emergency as the ordinance is effective January 1, 2023.
Second.
It was moved by Booth and seconded by DeVries to add the emergency clause to T7 amended for the reasons just stated by Mr. Booth. On the emergency clause alone, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no. It was then moved by Booth and seconded by DeVries to adopt T7 amended with the emergency clause in place. Do we have any final comments or questions at this time?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Evans.
I plan on voting for it, but I have to admit, I'm not real enthusiastic about automatic increases over the years. I'll vote for it, but it's something that I think should be looked at every year.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ravens. Do you have any additional comments or questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mrs. Swing?
I second what Councilman Aiden says. I think that this increase is quite large, but I understand that the wastewater treatment plant is old. I live in an old home and I fix a lot of old things like HVAC system. But I'm gonna vote for it. I'm not a fan, but I'm gonna vote yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Swing. Any additional comments, questions?
Mr. President, it's just so the public understands, we went through a rate study by an outside engineering firm. They went through, you know, the requirements of the plant and the costs associated there too, and came up with a rate plan that is reflective of what we're passing.
Thank you. Any additional comments or questions? All right, hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 6036 2022.
Twenty-three. Um. So T8.
T8 2023 ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Red Lion Property Management LLC for the purchase of real property in the amount of $375,000 plus closing costs.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
move to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It's moved by the mayor and seconded by Swing to dispense with the second and third readings for T8. Do you have any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no.
Mr. President, move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, move to add the emergency clause as we have a deadline and close of March 15th. And in order to accomplish that, we'll need the emergency clause.
Second.
It's moved by the mayor and seconded by Swing to add the emergency clause to T8 in order to meet the deadlines as just stated by the mayor. On the emergency clause alone, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed say no. It was then moved by the mayor and seconded by Swing to adopt T8 with the emergency clause in place. Do we have any final comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swink,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Haywick,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
Jacobs.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance number 6037 2023.
Right, we do not have any second readings or third readings on the agenda, so as for meeting announcements, the next regular council meeting will be held on Monday, February 6th, 2023 at 7 p.m. here in this room, the police department training room. Any members of the public who wish to attend should enter through the main entrance of the police department. We also have a committee of the whole meeting to discuss city council bylaw changes, and that also will be on Monday, February 6th at 6:30 p.m. Again, in this room here, the police department training room. Do any of the council members or administration have any final comments or questions this evening?
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Booth.
Yeah, just a note, we're going to be planning on having another utilities committee meeting at 6 o'clock prior to the committee of the whole meeting, prior to our next regular council meeting.
Okay, very good.
And that will be for T175.
That was on February 6th, you said.
Correct.
Okay, so we have utilities committee at 6, committee of the whole at 6:30, and then council meeting at 7.
Correct. Thank you.
Very good. Any additional comments or questions? Yes, all those are in this room. He was asking. All right, hearing no additional comments or questions, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.